Signs of Tradition and Wonders of Experience, a devotional for the seasons of Advent, Christmas, and Epiphany, produced by Northside Church. Monday, December 9th. Our scripture passage today comes from Exodus chapter 1, verse 17.
The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They let the boys live.
Imprisoned by paranoia and a slave himself to fear, Pharaoh isn't satisfied with simply enslaving the Israelites. He begins to move in an unspeakable direction toward violence and murder. Calling the Hebrew midwives Shiphrah and Puah to the palace, Pharaoh instructs them to begin killing any baby boy that is born among their people. He is so consumed with the growing multitude of these foreigners in his land that he's willing to shed blood, not with his own hands, but with the hands of those who are responsible for helping to bring life into the world. We don't know much about Shiphrah and Puah, other than they were midwives for the Hebrew women in Egypt, but we do know that they were shaped by the tradition of their people because they feared God. This fear was not like the fear that had seized Pharaoh, but rather a deep sense of awe and reverence these women had for the God of their ancestors. We can imagine the stories that they were told when they were children, and we can see how these stories had taken root in them, shaping the way they saw the world and the actions they took therein. Faced with a terrible choice, Shiphrah and Puah leaned into their tradition, which had told them that it is better to fear God than to fear Pharaoh. They disobeyed Pharaoh, refusing to act with the same fear that he had, and saved the boys that Pharaoh feared so much. We don't often think of Advent and Christmas as seasons of fear, but I believe these women teach us something new about our tradition. God is worthy of our fear, our awe and reverence, especially during this time of year when we remember the powerful and awesome event of God becoming one of us in Jesus' birth. These women were truly remarkable for their fear and their faith, and because they did not waver from the tradition of that faith, God rewarded them with a new experience.
He gave them families of their own.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 21. No longer would they be merely witnesses to the experience of others, but they too would bear children whom they would in turn shape with the stories of their God. God's gift to these women is a foreshadowing of what God has in store for all the Israelites, but it is also a reminder to us of God's amazing grace and desire to fill our lives with new experiences of hope and peace, joy and love. What new experiences are in store for us if we are faithful?